Hi everybody, Courtney here today to talk about 7 habits of frugal minimalist and what that means. And so let's just get started, not to waste any time. But there are 3 beginning things that are in 1, 2, and 3, and they are the big things, and that is housing, cars, and food. On housing, keeping your expenses below 25%, whether that means choosing to live in a house, choosing to rent, choosing to buy, choosing to live in an apartment, a condo, a mobile home, a van, whatever it is you choose to live on, keep your expenses below 25%. And if there is a 2-income family, if you are able to keep your expenses for housing at 25% of the 1 income, that is the way to go. Also, only getting what you need, not constantly upgrading, not thinking you constantly need to upgrade, getting to a place where you are comfortable and stopping with your housing. The more you can, a lot of people are house poor. I have been there. Many years ago, I built a house that was way too much house for us, and we lived there for 4 years until we realized we just couldn't afford it, and we sold it and got less of a house, and it was such a relief. While it was great to have that beautiful house, not being able to afford groceries was not great, and getting in debt was extremely painful. Number 2 was to think about your car expenses. There are a lot of ways to do this, but the main thing is to not let your car is a thing to get you from A to B. I know a lot of people are car people, but having an expensive car payment is not worth it. So if you can buy used, or if you need to get a payment because you don't have the money, get the most reliable car that fits your needs for the lowest payment available. For instance, when my daughter needed a car and her car blew up, we ended up going and getting her a 2015 Honda CR-V. I didn't get it for her. I helped her pick it out. She had a down payment. Her car payment is $250 a month. And that's very affordable, where the average car payment is $550 a month. And then when you have a car payment, you're going to have full coverage insurance, and your insurance is going to be more. A car payment with about a $400 car payment on a month for the average person is going to be around $200 a month in car insurance, depending on what it is. That's $600 a month. That is ridiculous. Unless you are making really good money, you don't need that. My husband and I drive old cars. They are nice. I have a 2013 Honda Accord EX. I think it's the top of the line. It's wonderful. I got it with low mileage from a friend. What I do is anytime I see a car that I like, let's say a friend has a car, I will say, if you ever decide to sell that car, let me know. I might be interested. Or if I decide I need a new car, I'll put it out there and I'll decide how much I want to spend. In this instance, I spent $12,000, and I'll say to people, hey, if I'm looking for this, if you know anybody who has this, let me know. It needs to be well maintained, low mileage, well cared for, and then I'll see if I'm interested. Number 3 is food. Whether it's cutting out the daily expenses to the gas station or the coffee shop or McDonald's, it doesn't matter. A lot of people love to pick on the whole coffee shop thing. And my thing is, have a budget for those expenses. Food can eat you alive. The average person in America should be able to feed themselves for $2 to $3 per meal, and then snacks. For my husband and I, we eat a lot of organic. We do not eat processed food. We do not eat meat. We do not eat eggs, and we do not eat cheese or dairy. And so that helps us save a lot. Our main foods are beans, lentils, legumes, tofu, vegetables, fruits, and grains like oatmeal, rice, whole grain pasta. So those are the things we mainly eat. We do not eat a lot of processed food. We do eat a lot of frozen food, as far as frozen vegetables and fruits go, but not a lot of processed. And I feed us for around $11 a day per person, and we do eat out a bit per month. I don't track it too much because I know that it runs around $11. When I do, every once in a while, I go through and I look at our bills and I figure out what we're spending. And previous to this hike in inflation, it was more like $7 a day, and now it's 7 to 9, and now it's about 9 to 11. So, and that tracks, right? But still, that's pretty cheap. Most people go to a restaurant, a drive-through, and spend $11 on one meal. The last time I drove through and got a coffee with a friend as a treat, it was $8 for just mine, and I almost fell out of my chair. You know, it wasn't even very good. It wasn't good. The next one is to watch the pennies and the dollars take care of themselves. To do things like have no spend days, to be mindful, like the past 3 days we've had no spend days. I'm going into town today. Whenever I need something, I don't just go get it or order it. A lot of times I'll put it in my cart on Amazon and wait 24 hours. Unless it's just something I know I need that I get on the regular. The other thing is I will kind of plan strategically. If I run out of all my fruit that's on the kitchen counter, like bananas and apples, I start eating the frozen fruit. And then when I go to town, I will pick up more. But I don't just run to the store. I think about what I'm spending. I think about if I need it. I have made a habit. My husband got me this cup years ago. I think they were on sale. It is the Yeti brand, but it doesn't matter. I also have the Walmart brand. They seem to work really well. But I'm in the habit of filling this every time I leave the house. This has lemonade in it. It's the generic brand Walmart lemonade, like Crystal Light. And I just fill it with water, tea, coffee. And I never buy those things out because they're full of sugar and all kinds of junk you don't need. And I don't know who's touched them, and people go to work sick all the time. Plus I have autoimmune disease, so I can't afford that. But it saves me so much money. And also clothes. I think about, well, what do I need? And if I don't need it, do I have something that will work before I need it? I pretty much only shop when I need things. I'm a Gen Xer, and that's how we were raised. We didn't just like go shopping for sport. It was more later that people started doing that. But you got clothes twice a year at the beginning of the school year and the beginning of the summer. You had your school clothes and your summer clothes. And so I just kind of am in that mindset. My rocking chair out front, we've been here for 5 years, is all of a sudden, I don't know if the sun has warped it, but I'm going to buy patio furniture. This is the first time I have purchased patio furniture since we moved in. And it's just, I'm buying 2 rocking chairs and a table, and I have set a budget for those. That's the other thing. I always set a budget. I'm a smart spender, and we're going to talk about that next. The next one is saving, or we're going to talk about that in a minute. Saving before you spend. So every month we have money that goes into our retirement accounts, and every quarter, I will take any excess money in our checking account and I will transfer it into savings, and I will allocate it out to either our 401k or our money market account or CDs. So right now, the money that goes into our IRA, our retirement fund, one of our retirement funds, we have 2, that money is taken out on the 31st of every month, and it's maxed out $625 per person. I thought we made good money, but apparently 43 to 140,000 a year is middle class. So we're solid middle class. We just live on about a third of that. Our income varies every year from 90,000 generally up to about 140, and average has been 110. I thought that was really good money. Apparently it is where I live in Arkansas, but apparently in some places people aren't even able to get by on that. And so we always save before we spend. Before we paid off our house, we put a lot of money. We always maxed out our IRAs, and then we put a lot of our income on our house. We haven't always been able to do that, but even when I was a single mom making like $30,000 to $40,000 a year, I always paid a little extra on my car and my house, and I got all my debts paid off by working side jobs. But I've always saved, well, not always, since I got divorced from my last husband, because that's a whole other ball of wax. But I've always been able to save since I've been on my own and now remarried to someone who's on board with me before we spend. The next one is to be a smart spender. I'm going to the library today because you know what? Books are free. Books, movies are free at the library. I travel hack. When I found out my son was having a baby in Colorado, we took out a Southwest card. They had a bonus deal that if you put so many thousands of dollars on that card, for the first 3 months, you would earn 80,000 miles, and that is like 8 trips to Colorado. And so we did that with our business, and I pay it off monthly. These kind of deals abound. And I would tell you to look into credit card deals like this. If you are responsible with credit cards, if you pay it off monthly, if you know that you're not going to carry a balance. Otherwise, I would not recommend doing that. I'm also will go, and when things are on sale, I will stock up. I'm going to Walmart today and to Sam's Club to stock up on a few things so that I have those in my pantry while they're on sale, because there are things I always use: rice, beans, oatmeal, coffee, tea, things like that. I can go ahead and stock up and have those things because buying in bulk saves me a lot of money. The next one is, and I don't know if I mentioned in there before, I think I did say there's 1,000 ways to save $1, but there's not 1,000 ways, or there's not very many ways to make $1,000. If I didn't say that and I'm repeating myself, forgive me. But there are so many ways to save $1 every day. It's so much easier to save money than it is to make money. So like if I can save $50 on groceries, it's easier for me to save $50 than it is for me to go out and make $50. And I think about my time versus my energy and time versus the cost. So if I buy $10 worth of oatmeal and I'm making $20 an hour, I had to work 30 minutes to buy that oatmeal. So I think about like, or if I have a pair of boots I want and they're $200 and it takes me 2 days to earn $200, I have to think, I'm giving 2 days of my life for a pair of boots. So I always think about that. I always think about saving the dollars before I spend them, saving the pennies and being mindful. I don't mind spending money on things I value, but like my daughter's about to have a baby shower. I'm very practical. We kind of got into it a little bit yesterday. I would rather spend the money on, I want to give her the baby shower, but I would rather do a less expensive baby shower at my house or a venue that's free where all I have to do is buy the food. And then spend the money on the baby's needs, like the car seat or whatever, than to spend a whole bunch of money on a fancy baby shower. Do you know what I mean? I'm very practical like that. The next one is number 7 is we aren't influenced as frugal minimalists by curated, keeping up with the Joneses, by curated material on Instagram or Facebook. We notice and see that these are curated pictures. It's not real life. There are a bunch of wonderful slow living videos, but some of them are just, they're set to music and the girl's out there running through the field of flowers and she's in her cute little cottage and the music is playing and the pot of stew is bubbling and maybe there's some beautiful music on in the background. Sure, we can have those things in our real life, but it's not really, it's curated. That's not 24/7 your life. You still got to go to the post office. The great equalizer is the DMV. I mean, there are just places in life that it's not pleasant all the time. Life isn't pleasant all the time. And we have to understand that life is just lifey, and it's, don't get caught up in the hedonic treadmill. Your life will not be substantially better from driving a $70,000 SUV than it would be from driving a $25,000 SUV. Your life will not be substantially better by living in a 5,000 square foot mansion for 2 people than it would be living in an 1,800 or 1,400 or 1,000 square foot cabin that has all your needs met and it's beautiful. You aren't going to be happier and because something is more expensive. There are studies that show once our needs are met and we have what we need, we don't necessarily find happiness or joy from having more. It just becomes more to take care of, more to store, more to manage, and that actually can lead to unhappiness. I hope this has been helpful. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It means so much to me. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.